What's up, y'all? It's Whiskey Joe back with another CRAS recap. Cycle 4, Week 1 just wrapped up. Let's talk about it. Monday was a major brain dump of information. We started learning the new console, which was the API Legacy Plus. Super old looking, super analog, super cool. We got to practice running signal through the board normally, which was essentially the same as the SSL origin in theory, but doing it felt so foreign since there were more added steps we had to take. Then we ran signal again, this time patching out of the direct out and into the tape input. I was surprised at how not intuitive the process was after feeling like I had things down with the SSL origin, but I'm sure it will get better with some practice. Tuesday, we spent the first hour or so recapping what we went over on Monday, and then after that, we learned how to use different dynamic processors with this board. It's a bit different from the SSL origin because the API is extremely customizable, which does have its benefits, but that also means that there's a bit more work involved. So in order to use different dynamic processors like EQs and compressors, we have to patch them in, even though these processors are on the board. You would think you could just use them, but no, not in this case. And that was essentially it for the class. It was basically a repeat of the classes on the SSL origin on a new board. I thought Wednesday was going to be an extremely dry class, but boy was I wrong. It was our first audio business class getting into the basics of music law and what copyrights are, what rights you obtain with a copyright, and other things. Our instructor was very engaging and fun, which helped keep what could have been a very boring lecture into a cool conversation. I walked out with a lot of questions that we'll hopefully cover in future classes. We also received a book that he had written on entertainment law, and we built a template for a split letter contract, which goes over percentage splits between songwriters. Super useful stuff. Thursday was pretty relaxed. We pretty much spent the whole class routing signal through the API and added in different effects. And since the API is a modular console, there was a lot of patching to do. Then we went through a patch bay challenge where our instructor had a bunch of steps on the whiteboard and we had to complete them. We messed up on 2 patches, but still did better than the morning class, so that's all that matters. Thursday night, I stuck around for the M3000 proficiency and passed. So that was exciting, being one of the first few proficiencies I've gotten so far. This one also wasn't too stressful since it is just a reverb unit, so it's not incredibly hard to grasp. It's just a matter of putting in time to get experience with the equipment. Finally, on Friday, we had to come in early for a grad panel. 3 CRAS grads came in to speak to us about their experience out in the field since they've graduated, sharing some do's and don'ts of the industry. Charles graduated around 2003, Curtis graduated I think 10 years ago or so, and Ty graduated in I believe 2019. So we got a variety of perspectives in terms of how recently they attended. My biggest takeaway from the panel is that it's not so much about the technical side as it is about being a good hang. You can know everything there is to know about equipment and recording, but if you're not pleasant to be around, no one's going to want to work with you. After the panel, I had to drive over to the Tempe campus for class, and to be completely honest, it was probably my least favorite class I've had. The instructor was great, the topic was just not my cup of tea. We spent 3.5 hours going over synchronization, which was basically how you can control one device with another device via a MIDI cable, and how that integrates with clocking and determining which one is the master or the slave device, which is great information to know. It just wasn't an engaging topic for me. But that's okay, we got through it. And that's everything for Cycle 4, Week 1 here at CRAS. Don't forget to like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Leave any questions you have down below, and thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.